Welcome to the Bill Collins Show. This is the place to be when you have a story to tell. And after spending 40 to 50 years in the newspaper business in Myrtle Beach, Atlanta, and Charleston area of South Carolina, I realized that we all have a story to tell. An all-encompassing story that depicts our lives and the people we've met and the things we've done, achieved, and some of our achievements and some of our failures. Today, we're really fortunate to have the opportunity to talk with Dr. Shirley McGreal. Shirley grew up in England, received her doctoral degree in India, and started years ago, many years ago, an organization called the International Primate Protection League. It is an incredibly important and significant achievement, and I feel truly lucky today to have her here to talk about her life, her adventure-filled life. Shirley, welcome to the Bill Collins Show.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit. Let's see, you grew up in England.
I did. I grew up in Mobley, Cheshire in the north of England, and then went down to college at London University, the Royal Holloway College, and I got my bachelor's degree there, and then I got my master's degree also at the University of London. And then my husband and I were in the United States. We met in the United States. I got an English-speaking union fellowship, and then
where were you in the United States when you were?
In the University of Illinois.
Okay.
And that's where I met my husband. And we went off to India. That was really exciting to live there. And then from India, he moved to Thailand with the United Nations. And then I began to see all the way animals were mistreated all around the world.
You said, I think you had sort of a life-changing moment in the airport in Bangkok, Thailand, back in the early 70s, I think.
Yes,
is that right?
We were moving from India to Thailand, and I went to pick up my, they had those great big cargo cases, huge cases. Sure. And so you put all your stuff in them. They call them lift boxes. And so we had to want to pick up Bangkok Airport and went down to Bangkok Airport. And then I saw these baby monkeys in cages, and they were just looking up like, please help me, please help me. And they were snow white babies, and I later learned they were stump-tailed macaques, and they were being shipped out for experiments in the United States. Oh. They were coming to New York, and you look at them and you feel like they're asking you something like help me and get out of here. And of course they couldn't, and off they went on the way. But I just was haunted by them. And then also in Bangkok, we met people who had little gibbon apes as pets.
As pets?
Yeah, it was terrible. And these were not just Thais, they were at that time we had the GIs over with the Vietnam War, they had Air America, and those Air America pilots were quite adventurous. I say they always had a Thai chick on one hand and a Thai wild animal on the other. And so they had the baby gibbons, so we got to know more about gibbons. And then I got very interested in gibbons, and our next door neighbours turned out had two, and we had them dumped on us eventually, and then we landed up with 4, and when we came home from Thailand, it was just before there was laws that would have forced them to stay in Thailand. And we were real happy because there wasn't a sanctuary in Thailand at all, and so we brought them home here, and we weren't sure what to do with them. And then John found a job, and we got a nice house in the Somerville, out in the Knightsville, in the woods, on the edge of the woods, and we built it up ever since, and now we have 36 gibbons, number 36.
How about
came
that?
In last night.
How about that? Shirley, for those who may not be familiar, explain, a gibbon is the smallest of the apes?
Yes, sir, the smallest of the apes. And they're they've grown about 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds, okay. Some less. And we got to the 2 we've got in most recently, they're both underweight because they hadn't been fed enough.
Okay.
So
you have you started the IPPL, International Primate Protection League, I think in 1977?
73.
73.
Yeah, so we're old.
How about that? That's
it. We're older than a lot of our members.
How did you grow it from a small facility here in the low country of South Carolina to a worldwide reputation that it has, and you have a board of directors that's made up of people from all over the world.
That's right, yeah. And we started off in Thailand in '73, and then we moved to Somerville in '77 and have been there ever since. And so we have Gibbons, but we grew, and we just got attracted members, and we did a lot of work on getting countries to ban export of monkeys, which is sort of controversial because I don't like to see these monkeys being exploited. But we got, first of all in '77, India banned export of monkeys, and we worked with the then Prime Minister Morarji Desai, and he was quite a character. He really was. And then we got Bangladesh to ban export of monkeys, and then Malaysia, and then Thailand and Nepal.
That is
We've
phenomenal.
got 5 export bans under our belt.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of effort and a lot of contacts and a lot of diligence.
Right, and you have to keep, when you get a ban, there's going to be people always going to overturn it. But we try to block that, and we had a good relationship with both Mr. Desai and his successor, Mrs. Indira Gandhi.
Okay.
And she was a pen pal of mine. And you just baby your bans and all the good things that happen. You support develop them and make sure that they last.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I know that at one point you've had the opportunity to meet and get to know a little bit Jane Goodall, who worked with the gorillas in Africa.
Right, she worked with chimpanzees.
I mean chimpanzees. Here I go. I've said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees in Africa.
Yeah, I knew her, and I know her still. But I also like Diane Fossey, the one who was murdered in Rwanda, and she was a great pen pal of mine, and I have dozens of letters from her, and we've published most of them in our newsletter, and we have them all archived on our website. So if people who are Diane Fossey junkies look up Diane Fossey on our website, they'll get links to all her letters to me. She writes handwritten or an old typewriter. She had an old Olivetti up on the top of the mountains with the gorillas.
How about that?
Because there was no computers, there was no electricity.
How about
there was nothing. So she had this manual typewriter.
That's fantastic. I started my journalism career on typewriters, and unbelievable. I had an old Underwood.
Yeah, it was so funny because one of our members had actually worked with Jane Goodall, not with Diane Fossey, excuse me, I'm getting mixed up on the mountains, and he said, I wrote out a manual typewriter, he said, I remember that typewriter, it was an old Olivetti.
The hardest part of that was learning to change the ribbons.
Yeah.
Shirley, how did you, when you kicked off your organization, how did you go about funding it, and how does it operate monetarily?
Well, we're beggars, we're professional beggars.
Professional beggars.
Yeah, we now have, our income is about over $1 million every year, and we've got several $1 million assets, because you know that I'm not going to live forever, and we want the group to continue long after I've gone, so we've built up our reserves.
Do you have an endowment of some sort? Or?
We've built up an endowment, yes.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And you get financial support from people all around the world?
Mainly in the United States and some in Europe, but mainly here. And we get some good foundation help from Winley and Arcus, HIMSA, and little foundations that give us good money. But the main thing is our members. They just send checks, like we have many monthly donors, they give about 20 or 15, but that adds up, it's just wonderful.
How many members do you have?
We have we're printing out right now a newsletter with about 15,000 or 16,000 this issue, but we have about 13,000 will be paid members, and then we send them to all the wildlife departments of the world and all kinds of people.
Terrific. That's fantastic.
And we also have a presence on Facebook, which I'm
Facebook.
thrilled about.
So IPPL is on Facebook?
Yeah, and Shirley McGreal. I have my own page, and I've got 800 friends. I'm nearing the limit. They make a top limit of 5,000, so I've got to be careful. We have one for International Primate Protection League.
That is terrific. And you said also Instagram? Do you do Instagram?
We do Instagram, yeah.
Well, you're far ahead of me. You're far ahead of me. Technologically, I am challenged, but...
oh, I love it. I can give you lessons.
All right. We're going to take a brief pause, and we'll be back in just a minute after a couple of messages. Well, welcome back. Today we're talking with Dr. Shirley McGreal, who is the founder and executive director of the International Primate Protection League, headquartered in Summerville, South Carolina, just a few miles out of Charleston. Shirley, welcome back. We will catch up again. What I want to get you to talk to me about a little bit now is I know you've been involved battling smugglers, international smugglers through the years. Tell me a little bit about what that's been like.
That's been dangerous, and I've got 2 lawsuits as a result, but we won them both thanks to wonderful attorneys, one in Miami and one in New York. And we've found what happened. You hear stories. For example, I got a phone call one morning saying the 6 baby orangutans had just been confiscated on Bangkok airport, and they were staying with a friend of mine. So we sent out an orangutan caregiver immediately to make sure that the animals were medically fit, and they, in fact, they all survived, at least for a good while. And then we tried to find out who did it. And I got a clue when the wildlife chief of Thailand, then Dr. Brunevert, said, I've got this letter from a man called Schaefer. And he says, please send the animals confiscated on Bangkok airport immediately on to Yugoslavia. And the letter was from the director of a Belgrade zoo, Beograd, in Yugoslavia. And so that was a clue that we knew that one of the smugglers' names was Schaefer. And over the years you build up all these contacts, and we were good friends with the wildlife chief of, we were friends with the wildlife chief of Germany,
okay.
Dr. Rainer Blanke, and we sent this letter to Dr. Rainer Blanke, and every German-speaking country, potentially like Austria, whatever, and Rainer Blanke spotted right away that it was a German called Kurt Schaefer.
Okay.
Kurt Schaefer, he made him give me all kinds of documents because he said he thought our Fish and Wildlife Service people in Miami were less than honest. He'd referred the Miami smuggler involved, whose name was Matthew Block, to them many times and not got any response. So he said, I'm giving the documents to you. So for 3 months we conducted our own investigation, and then we turned it over to Fish and Wildlife and got them deluged with letters to their Washington headquarters, to the law enforcement people, and they did open an investigation. And in the end, Matthew Block was indicted on 4 felony charges and 4 misdemeanor charges. And then we heard, to a horror, a rumour came that they're going to give him a probation plea bargain. And we thought, 6 baby orangutans, that's 6 dead orangutan mothers, and who'll never have any more children, so you're not killing just the mother, but the other children she'll have. So we were really upset, and we got letters to the judge. We got thousands of letters to the judge.
Trying to get him to not
to throw out
that.
the plea bargain, and Jane Goodall wrote one, and all kinds of well-known people. And so the plea bargain was thrown out. The judge said, no, this is really a serious crime. And think of all the suffering it's caused to the babies and the mothers, stuffing them into tiny crates. We were upside down, and several of them died later on, but not immediately. And he just threw it out, and he said, come back with a felony. And they did come back with felony charges, and he was eventually sent to prison in Jessup, Georgia.
Is he still in prison?
No, they gave him 13 months because the wildlife people gave, the sentencing in wildlife cases is, depends on the value of the goods shipped. And the value of the goods shipped was huge, but this silly agent said that the Siamang, there were 2 gibbons in the shipment, were worth $30,000 each, and that wasn't true. And so the judge threw out his testimony, which was correct, that the value of the orangutans was $30,000 each. So it was, so he threw out the test when he gave him just 13 months in prison. But you know what, it's really good because I don't think this guy's done anything since.
Maybe put a stop to that.
I think so. I don't know. Hope so. But right now we're doing a smuggling case involving, on October 17th, 2 baby chimps and 8 monkeys were confiscated on Bangkok airport. I have to start again. They had 2 baby chimps and 10 monkeys were confiscated on Kathmandu airport in Nepal.
In Nepal?
Yeah, and we had connections in Nepal. And the country of origin was said to be Nigeria. We had connections in Nigeria because you build them up over the years. And we started an investigation going and it arrested 6 people of Indian, Pakistani and Nepali nationality. And they're all sitting in prison awaiting trial. And the baby animals are being cared for at the zoo in Kathmandu.
So stopped another.
Yeah, well please, we want to get these guys sent to prison. I'm very punitive of animals. I think animal smuggling is a terrible crime and those who do it should be sent to prison. And so we don't know what's happening in Nigeria yet, but they've got an investigation going there. Nigeria is a difficult country to work in, as I'm sure everybody knows. Lots of corruption.
Shirley, what about the Interpol Wildlife Crime Group Dutch Police League plaque that you were given?
I was so excited about that because the gang that was smuggling the orangutans included a Dutch criminal and a Miami criminal and other criminals from Singapore and around the world. And so we worked with the Dutch police, and the probation plea bargain that this gentleman in Miami had been given depended on his cooperating, quote, providing truthful evidence, which clearly he didn't do because the Dutch police had a recording tap on his partner, Kent Kreindecker, and they found out that they were planning another scam. So they told the US Fish and Wildlife, which cancelled the plea bargain, and that's how he got sent to prison.
Okay, okay.
But they're difficult cases to deal with, and you know, I don't have any criminal justice background, but we had some great lawyers and people who worked with us on that one. That's
terrific. So,
yeah.
So through connections you've made over the years, you're able to get lawyers who will jump in and help with these particular
Absolutely,
prosecutions.
Yeah. One called Thomas Tulin in Miami, who was just been an angel on one, and Henry Kaufman in New York, who founded the Libel Defense Resource Center. He's been a wonderful contact too.
Terrific. Shirley, you've been featured in People magazine, I believe, as one of the People of the Year. I think that was back in 1993.
Yeah, that was when we had they got this wonderful picture of me. We had a blind baby gibbon sent up to us called Beanie. He also had epilepsy, and so they sent a photographer down and they got a wonderful segment. And so I was in the magazine as a magazine story, and then at the end of the year, it was some People of the Year. And so they used all that stuff again and some more. So that was exciting.
That's great. Describe for me the facility, the sanctuary. You've got about 40 acres?
45 acres
45
now,
acres.
And we're looking to get 11 more acres. We've got an agreement with the owner. It's actually an heirs property status, and so they haven't got clear title, and so we're working to help them and get the clear title. And
you have described the facility. You have runs?
We have big gibbon cages, because gibbons are monogamous, pair-bonded animals, so you can't just set, like, they're not like baboons. If you stick a group of them together, then they'll fight to the death.
Yeah.
So we have about many units. We have 10 gibbon houses with 2 to 4 units in each of them, and the gibbons live in pairs, and we vasectomise the males because you don't want animals born to live the whole life in captivity, and there's no effective rehabilitation for gibbons because they're territorial animals, and so they'd attack the wild, they'd distress and attack the wild gibbons, and the wild gibbons vice versa. So it just hasn't worked yet. So we know they're going to live in captivity, but we try to make them the best lives we can.
Best lifestyle in captivity you can.
Yeah, we have a very nice staff, and we get lots of donated food from today's Costco Day, and they're going to pick up 7 pallets of food.
That's
We don't
fantastic.
know yet what's in it because I haven't seen it.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
You also have, I think, some otters. Do you have some otters at the sanctuary?
We have 5 Asian otters, and they don't live that long, and one of them died a few months ago of kidney stones. But now we've got an arrangement. Seattle Zoo is going to be sending us an otter.
Seattle Zoo?
Female, yeah, that will make sure we get 3 pairs. And we now have a flight, which I didn't know about, non-stop from Seattle here.
And that's something new, yeah.
Started in November.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
Absolutely. Who was your longest, in the course of the past 40 years, who was your longest resident given at the sanctuary?
Tong is now, that she came back from Thailand with us.
And so she's been here from the beginning?
Yeah, right. And then we also got gibbons in from research labs. We got all the gibbons from the Laboratory for Experimental Medicine and Surgery and Primates in New York. And they sent us a lot of gibbons, about 7 or 8. And then we got them from zoos that closed down. We got the Attorney General of Texas sent us 7 from a sanctuary that had gone to the dogs and was in disgrace. And we got 2 more just this past week from a place in Florida that had been badly damaged by the hurricanes.
Okay.
So, but we love having them here.
Terrific, terrific. Well, you have saved the lives of thousands of them, I think, over the years.
Yeah, I think the export bans particularly did it, because at the time India banned export of monkeys, the country was exporting 100,000 a year to all over the world. And so when that stopped, all these animals living free who would be gone.
That's
otherwise.
incredible. That's incredible. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your still busy schedule to talk to me a little bit about the International Primate Protection League. Thank you for what you've done. And let's see.
You never mentioned Prince Philip.
Oh, well, let's do that. Yeah, Prince Philip. How about on her board of directors?
No, he's not on the board. He's a very close friend.
Okay, and you received an award from the Queen, I think, in Buckingham Palace.
Yes, I got the Order of the British Empire.
Order of the British Empire.
So I had been a long-time friend of Prince Philip from wildlife conferences, and he does funny things like, I saw that one in Kyoto, Japan, and he was on an elevated platform like the dignitaries usually are, and I heard this guy say, "Shirley, you owe me a letter." And it was Prince Philip. So I went over and we went on chatting, and when I got the Order of the British Empire, I was staying in a real tacky hotel near Euston Station in England, and I get this phone call, and it was the equerry to Prince Philip asking me to come over early for a private meeting with the Duke of Edinburgh. So I met Prince Philip in Buckingham Palace in his private sitting room, and he had one of those couches that goes that way, and so he was, and I was there right close. And I just thought it was very nice. And
that is
he gave
terrific.
me a big hug when I was leaving, which I heard that it's not common. So I'm really lucky, and I owe him a letter. So.
That is terrific. You need to write him that letter soon.
I shall, yes sir.
Well, that is terrific. You continue to live at the IPPL headquarters sanctuary?
Yes.
Part of the property there? Surrounded by your dogs. Now, you're also keen on Newfoundlands and Great Pyrenees, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, we have a wonderful Newfoundland. Actually, he got a championship, and he's just so nice and friendly. That's the main thing. We want friendly dogs. And then we have a Great Pyrenees, are wonderful guarding dogs and watch the property for us. But they're neither as aggressive. They just, at all.
Yeah. Well, another thing, I understand that you, from the time you lived in France at one time for a while.
Yes.
You developed a taste for French food, rich desserts.
Yeah, actually at that time I developed a taste for Frenchmen.
Oh, Frenchmen!
I almost married a French guy, and he's now a doctor and runs a medical testing lab. So I hear from every Christmas we get $100 in it.
Terrific. What were you doing in France at the time? Was that?
I was teaching English to young French students.
Okay, in Paris or?
No, I was lucky. I was on the French Riviera.
Oh, on the Riviera.
Toulon and Nice, and I love Nice. I went back there with my friend Sylvia from Boston, and we met my old boyfriend from decades and decades ago, and we all went out and had a great time together.
Terrific. Well, you certainly have had an interesting and wonderful life, and again, thank you for what you meant to the gibbons of the world. And again, in signing off, tell people what the website is, if they'd like to support your efforts, how they can do so.
Our website is www.ippl.org, and we're also on Facebook under my name, Shirley McGreal, and under the organisation International Primate Protection League, and we have news stories almost every day of the week.
Terrific. And McGreal is M-C-G-R-E-A-L. Well, thank you again, and I would say to you, I'm doing pretty well for a man of my age and habits. How about you? Have a good day.